All right, hello guys and welcome back. This is David here. I am filming a hardway class today. It's all going to be about the hardways, hardways hopping, hardways all day, hardways parlay. And this is for you guys that are students of the game or dealers going to our CEG Dealer school. So this is some very useful information. I'm going to go over how the bets are made and how you set them up, and ultimately how they're paid on the table. Okay, so let's first go over the hardways themselves and what makes them called hardways. So hardways here are a little different than the rest of the bets. These are called all-day hardways. Everything else you see here on the proposition bets are hopping bets. That means they have to roll on, in order to win, it has to come like that on the next roll of the dice. So on the hop or on the turn, okay? Hardway bets or all-day hardway bets just have to come, they stay up until you either win or lose, till there's a resolution with the bet. So a hard 10 would stay here, hard 10 all day would stay until it actually came like this, 2 5s, or if a 6-4 come, it would lose, or a 7, it would also lose. They're very often called picture bets as well, but everything really is kind of a picture bet. It has to come like the picture, and this is the picture here. A hard way is essentially a double. There's only 2 ways to roll the dice. Easy way, which is not a double, and the hard way, which is a double for those of you who play Monopoly and other games. A double is just any 2 of the same number. So there's a hard 10, there's a hard 6, there's a hard 6, there's a hard 8, and there's a hard 4. Now the hard 12 and the hard aces, or just aces, only come that way. There's no other way. They only come 2 6s and 2. 2 and 12 only come that way. There's no all-day hard way for those to bet, okay? Now, as you see here, the hard 10 and hard 4 only pay 8 for 1, okay? That means for every dollar, you're going to get 8 for the dollar, or 7 to 1 is what they're going to get paid. So $2 would pay $14 to the customer, $3 pays 21, and so forth. And anytime a hard way hits, just like every other prop bet, you pay it and you leave it still up to win. Okay. So let's talk about the hardways in general, just how they're bet, different ways to bet, and then we'll go over different opportunities that players have and different things that they'll tell you which will change how you set up the bet. So the most obvious bet is if someone throws in money and says, I would like a hard 10. Again, what do we do as dealers? We want to know how much the bet and the position, how much the bet and what the position is. Those 3 things that we have to get. That's how we book a bet. We have a $1. That's the amount, a hard 10, that's the bet, and then the location of the player around the table. This would be location 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and those positions are counted out from the stick. So closest to the stick is 1, furthest around the table, closest to the base dealer would be 8 spots. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay, 8 spots, all right. So a $1 hard 10, next to the stick person would go right here. $1 hard 10 next to the stick. $1 on the outside hook would go right here. That's the outside hook, position number 4. Inside hook, as we know, is position number 5. And then next to base, top of the class is position 8. And then we could call out if we had other people here and we'd set it up accordingly. Now, if the hard 10 hits, okay, if the hard 10 hits, so they bet this hard 10, and then the dice come hard 10, how do we pay it? We pay it from stick to base, okay, stick to base. So if you're on the proposition bets, you're the stick person for the day. The first person you're gonna pay is the person nearest to you, okay, in order around the game, okay, 1 through 8. And the way you would do that is you would take the stick and use the stick because the stick is an automatic pointer. And you would put the stick right in front of the person and you would hit the stick and say, hey, pay this person $7, still up to win, $7, $7, and $7. And the dealer, your base dealer, would cut out that money and pay it to the player. Now remember, if you're on the stick, you do not pay any bets. Those stacks of checks that you have in front of you are only to make change and to set up bets. And when I say change, I mean change for you and the bets that you're putting in place. You never interact your checks with a player, period. You don't hand off checks from your stacks to players. You don't make change to the player. You don't obviously hand off checks. You don't go hand to hand, these types of things. Those checks are only for you. Always, 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 it's your base man that makes any change or makes any payoffs to your players. So if someone were to throw in a nickel to you and say, I want a hard 10 for $3, and you would take $3 off of your stack and then ask your baseman to pay $2 to the person wherever they're located, in this case, 2 from you, okay? So this would be $3 hard 10, $2 change, 2 from me, right? Okay, now let's talk about the different opportunities in terms of how the bets are made. So the first bet, of course, is a straight up bet. A straight up bet, $1, $5, $10, whatever the case is. Now, based on your table limit, will determine how much a person can bet on a hard 10. And normally, it's sort of about time and a half, okay? So let's say you had a $1,000 table. You could probably bet a $200 hard 10. A $200 hard 10, give or take. You always want to check with your casino to make sure that you're not allowing people to take more than they're allowed to with these hardways. Sometimes you'll see them get up there, so make sure you know what the maximum bets are for your prop bets, but there you go. Okay, so the first bet is straight up, okay? So let's say they want a $1 hard 10, outside hook, it will go right there. That's just that. Now, if someone throws in a two-way hard 10, they're not talking about the two-way 10 hopping, they're talking about two-way hard. That means one for them and one for you. You would then place your dealer bet goes right in the middle of the hard way. So two-way hard 4 would go here, two-way hard 4 on the hook would go here. I mean, two-way hard 8 would go here, two-way hard 6 would go here, okay? So those bets have been made for you. That's a two-way. Now, if someone were to throw in 5 and 1 and say $6, two-way hard 10, what they mean is 5 and 1 for you, you don't break it down and go 3 and 3. Now, they might ask you to do that, and that would be great, but you assume that the big one is for the player and the little one is for you. And if you have an existing bet there, you would just press it up, and that bet is there for you to win. Okay, so that's a two-way hard way. Now, the other bet that some players will make is they'll just throw in $1, let's say hard 10, and they'll say hard 10 parlay. Now, that tells you that when it hits, they want you to use all the money and press up the bet. And then, so that would be $8 if it won, right? Because it would pay 7 plus the 1, $8. So if someone throws in let's say $1 hard 4 parlay, 2 from stick, it would go right there. And they're telling you in advance that if that hard 4 should hit, they want to parlay the bet completely, all the way up. Now, if any of these bets do hit and they say parlay, that's what a parlay means. Parlay means use all the money and press the bet. That's a parlay, okay? The other thing they can do is they might throw in $2 and say, I want a two-way parlay on the hard 10, and that basically means that